Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Absolutely, Michigan's national championship season should stand. Now, what I will say is I'm not a fan of the cheating scandal that's been going on at all. All right, and I also don't like how Michigan has responded to that, acting like the victims. Now, to their credit, it worked. It helped them beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten championship with Iowa, beat Bama in the Rose Bowl, and then not destroy us, pull away with Washington. That was a close game until the fourth quarter. They just pulled away at the end, not destroyed. I'm not going to say that about Washington, but the only reason I'm saying this championship season should stand, the 15-0 season should stand, is because they won 6 games without their head football coach. All right, and they also fired Connor Steins, or he voluntarily left. I don't know. They fired the linebackers coach that they had, and the games that they won, a top 10 Penn State game on the road, home against a top 3 Ohio State team. Actually, I think they were number 2 in the country and undefeated. So those wins, I know for a fact that they actually won because they were a better team than both those great teams, because they're both great teams. All right? And the Big Ten championship, I know they couldn't have scouted that without Connor. Now, it's possible they could have sent some. Look, and with J.J. McCarthy's response about, yeah, we have been stealing signs, but other people have been doing it too. I'm not a fan of that either. I mean, this doesn't make two wrongs don't make a right. But yeah, I would say that those wins were legit. You know, Alabama, I know they couldn't have. Actually, if anything, Alabama's hired their linebacker coach from Michigan. So, if anything, that gave Alabama an edge over Michigan. And, of course with Washington, the way they beat them, you know. And here's the thing. Desmond Howard made a really good point about Michigan's first 2 years. When you're able to win the line of scrimmage, when you have an offensive line that's the best in the country, push people around, and you're able to run the ball like the way you do, I understand sign stealing isn't cool. And I do think that those first 2 years that they beat Ohio State 21-22, I do agree that those seasons should not count. You know, because they had their whole coaching staff, nobody got fired, and everything, and won those games. Those should be taken away. But this national championship season should stand. And again, Harbaugh missed a third of the whole year. He missed 6 out of 15 games. You know, and they put a guy in who's never been a head football coach before. Now, I do think Coach Moore would make a great coach, obviously, because he made good play calls. He made good decisions offensively, defensively, and he had his team ready to go in both top 10 wins. But it's just clear to me, you know. It's like saying John Jones used steroids, yes. And he had it in his system, yes. Did he cheat? Technically he did, but then you got to go through the whole UFC roster and treat them the same way. Who's to say that they're not taking steroids? My point is, he's still the greatest light heavyweight of all time, possibly the greatest of all time, period. Possibly. I think Stipe might argue with him about that in a few months. But my point is, they're still the best team in the country. I still do believe in my heart they were better than Bama. They beat Bama. Better than Washington. They beat Washington. They were probably better than Florida State. I do believe they would have beat Georgia just because how Alabama's defense, which was good but not the best in the country, gave Georgia problems. Imagine what Michigan's defense could have done. And Michigan runs the ball a lot better than Bama did. And Bama didn't run the ball terribly against Georgia, especially the first half. So, although I know there's some dirt with Michigan, especially with this year, it should stand just because of what they've been through. Not having Harbaugh there for 6 games. And again, 2 of those were top 10 teams, elite football teams, great programs. So, for that reason, I mean, look, you're not going to have a chance to scout somebody who's in the playoffs and in the national championship. It's just not possible. So, especially the national championship game. So, those are my thoughts on it. I do think, now, are they cheaters? Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan, so I can say that. But were they legitimately the best team in the country in 2023? Yes, obviously. Come on, man.